like, I'm the most confident one here. But if they stare a little longer, I'm kind of like, all right, no, don't look at me. Who do you think you are? Like, don't be looking in my eyes. Do you do that? Do you feel that way, or is that just me?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I feel like more so it's out of fear of me scaring them. Like a lot of the times I just notice that when I look at people in their eyes, they get so I don't want to say like fearful every single time, but they get a little hesitant to talk, or um they feel like they have to second guess what they say. So I'll look at them, but I'll also like look off in the distance, meet up that, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's eye contact has always been weird being a Scorpio rising.
It's
It-
weird.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a struggle for me for a long time, and I felt it was social anxiety. And then one day I was so over it, I was like, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna look at every single person in the eye. And I think I did it first with sunglasses, but then
Yeah.
I did it without, and I noticed that, and I was like, people don't give a fuck. And like 90% of the people looked away like almost instantly, and a lot of them were like, oh, and I was like, oh, and I was like, wait, me? I kept doing it, and I was like, oh, all right. So after that, that kind of broke me out of it. I was like, dude, people are gonna look away, and if they don't, then who knows what might happen. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
chill. I don't know. Someone said that on my channel. They're like, talk more about Scorpio rising eyes. I was like, okay, what do you want me to say? I was like, they're magnetic. You'll get lost in them. They're really great. They can be scary sometimes though, but I don't know. I feel like if you're Scorpio rising, you have Pluto in the first house, you know what you hold within yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, I like looking at my like sometimes I'll get like the light shine, like the sunlight shining through, like cascading through my eyes. And I've been told that that looks awesome, like more so than like the average person, you know what I mean? The Scorpio rising eyes, if you ever catch a Scorpio rising person, or you take a picture of yourself and like you get like your like pupil and everything illuminated with the sun, like you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It looks so cool. I swear, it looks so piercing. It's ridiculous. Like my eyes are so dark. They look black, but they're actually brown.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel mine they're dark. Well, they're actually light. I guess they're like the middle brown.
Mhm.
But when I would look at my eyes like in the light or after I would cry, look at my eyes after I cry, but they would turn more green. And I would like look at them and not in a very cocky way, but I was like, oh whoa, like I kind of dig my eyes, dude. Like they look like planets. They're not just brown. And I found that for like Scorpio rising, they're either their eyes will change color, or the way I can like point out, well, it's easy to point out a Scorpio rising because I'm like, oh, they got that. Because I look at a Scorpio rising and I feel like it's a reflection of me, as like they have that special something.
Yeah.
And their eyes, you can tell someone's a Scorpio rising because they'll have a rim around their eye. So say you have brown eyes, you have a black rim. If you have blue eyes, you have a dark blue rim. And I was like, oh, that's like a weird little tip I found. I was like, that's
That's
cool. All right, all right.
I haven't heard that. That's crazy though. It makes
Yeah.
sense now that you pointed out.
Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Is Scorpio rising eyes?
Yeah, I don't know what Scorpio like the thing about Scorpio rising, I feel like with our eyes, I never had to get glasses, knock on wood, but I don't know if it's also piercing as in not just the way it looks, but like piercing as in good vision as well. I don't know. Have you ever
Oh
had
man, I'm blind. I was like, I wish. Dude, I've had glasses for a while. I feel, if anything, like my third eye is very open. That's very clear. I feel like, oh, I remember what I was gonna say, Scorpio, right? But my Aquarius Mercury. It's so interesting too, because like I feel like Scorpio rising, a lot of people like fantasize about us and they put us as like, oh, they're so mysterious, they're so reserved, but everyone's different. Like I may be a Scorpio rising, I have a lot of power, but I also communicate like an Aquarius and Mercury. So I'm like, I have random like epiphanies come through my head. And it's interesting when my friends know me, they're like, oh yeah, Rachel, she's inspirational, but she's also like, whoa, she's got all these crazy ideas. But crap. I feel when I discovered Scorpio risings had that magnetism, it was almost a relief for me because I realized like, dude, I look good in anything. I was like, but it was at a point where I was very like almost a perfectionist. This was like 2 years ago because I had just gotten out of a bad relationship. So when you've went through any type of verbal abuse, you're always like, oh God, everything looks bad on me. And that's just like brainwashing. But at that point, I was trying so hard. I was like, it has to be perfect. I have to dress this way. My hair has to be like this. And dude, when I saw Scorpio risings, I was like, dude, they can like a woman that's a Scorpio rising can look beautiful and amazing without makeup or just with a sweatshirt on or just like anything. And I found that too because my sister's a Scorpio sun and she constantly puts up pictures without makeup and just like straight from the gym and she looks amazing in all of them. And I'm like, dude, that's so empowering. Like, I love that. And like for men too, like Scorpio rising, they don't have to put all that, like, yeah, when they put the effort in, people can see it. They're like, oh wow. But they're like, they see it already. It just goes from wow to like, oh wow, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the times, I do like when it comes to my like physical appearance, I kind of get tendencies from my moon, like Cancerian tendencies. Like I know Cancer risings like to wear like comforting clothing, like clothing that feels like they're like snuggling in something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like it flip flops for me. I can't really pin myself down for like a specific look or style. I know that like with music though, however, that shit changes every like few weeks or every, I don't know, every other month I'm listening to a whole nother genre of music. You know what I mean? I can't, like growing up, I used to listen to just rap, you know what I mean? And then I went through a noticeable phase throughout like high school, just getting into metal. And that's been my, um, like my wave ever since. Do you find that with yourself though? Like do you only listen to one genre of music?
No, I'm constantly changing my music. And I feel like it's because every month I evolve. And now it's to the point where I'm so into my career. I'm so into being a content creator and a YouTuber and a psychic and a healer. And I want to do more and more and more that since I evolve every week, I'm like changing my music up every week. And I listen to music based on my mood too. So that can change like through the day. Like, all right, I'm feeling more sensual today. I want to listen to like Doja Cat and like performing too. I feel like because a lot of Scorpio risings have Leo in their midheaven, it I don't know, like pop up right here. We really like performing, dude, and like just watching performers. So I really like that. And so with my music, any performer I'm watching, I'm like, this is amazing. And then maybe I'm in a like an angry mood. I want to like, get some, like I'll listen to some metal, or I have a whole playlist for skating whenever I skate. And then that changes too. I'm like, oh, I don't like the song anymore because I associate songs with whenever I listen to a song, it will remind me of when I was going through like some trauma or heartbreak or when I was feeling really happy. And then my happiness ups every time. So I'm like, oh, I'm like at this level happy, not this one anymore. Let me get this song out here and do another one. But I like all genres really, except for country. Well, I can't say that. I do like the Bluebird song by, I don't remember her last name, but it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like one message I want to get out to the Scorpio risings watching this is, you know, when we experience polarities just like every other human being, but more so with us because it's on our first house, you know what I mean? The black and the white, you know, the life and the death.
Yeah.
I want to say that whenever you get ready to go through a transformation and you feel like, oh, there's like no escape or this is the worst transformation yet, you feel an all-time low implies that you're going to feel an all-time high, like a pendulum. You know what I mean? You can't, you know what I mean? One at the without the other. You know what I mean? So when you feel at your all-time low and it's just your lowest point in life, get ready because you're going to swing in that opposite direction. You know, and it always happens. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
true. No, 100%. Every time I've been like stripped of everything and having nothing and feeling like nothing at the very bottom, it it would completely change. I feel that when it comes to moving house too, I thought about it the other day. I was like, every time I moved from one house to another, it was a level up. It got a little bit better every time, so I don't need to fear it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, every time you have a really intense low, you're gonna have an even better high up. And I feel like that's empowering too for Scorpio risings, because when we go through a really intense low, we can help others. We can tell others like, hey, like I made it when I didn't have anything. Like I went from a nobody to somebody. I didn't have anybody, no support help me. Therefore, I can talk about this, because when I listen to successful people, the people I resonate the most are the ones that, one, have went through the same type of traumatic experience, I know, in their childhood, roughly the same, so I can relate more to them. Like, all right, cool, how'd they overcome this? Cool, they had the same problems. Because people that are celebrities or successful that didn't have those childhood problems, I'm like, okay, well, I can't relate to that, but if they did, I can. And then also people that went from a level of not really having anything that were completely self-made, like very low. Like I didn't have a computer, I didn't have like the best editing software, but I consistently did this every single fucking week, and then it popped off. Like, yes, Scorpio Risings, you can do it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I experienced that too. Now, you had said you experience moving around all the time. I noticed that with my job, because I have to travel like the farthest, I live in New Jersey, but I went all the way down to like Virginia for work. I went all the way up to Massachusetts, Canada, and like I have to like rent out Airbnbs and stuff, like go to a place where I'm not familiar with and stuff. So I feel like that is how Aquarius, like that fourth house, was expressed in my life as well. For some reason, it's coming out through my work.
Yeah, traveling all the time. I did see something, I believe it was about Scorpio rising. It said that when, or maybe it was Leo and Midhaven. I'll look it up later, but it was saying traveling was really significant for us because we were going to meet people while we travel or have a certain experience that you can't do at home. So I think that's why we travel so much, because yeah, I moved a lot, and then yeah, everyone I met when I moved was like a little piece of my transformation. But I feel like whenever I'm traveling, like say I just travel, like I live in Tennessee to Oxford, an hour and a half away, I had a different experience. And someone had, when I went to a skate park, it was a friend of a friend. He's like, oh yeah, my friend, he's a pro skater, he's coming. I'm like, okay, pro skater. Dude, this guy was like Tony Hawk, man. Like it was like that big fishbowl thing, and he was like, all right. And then his girlfriend did the same thing. I was like, what? But he was a pro skater that was sponsored. He got a full ride sponsorship to LA, California, and that's where I have been trying to move. And that just showed up that exact day. A friend, like I went with a friend, it was her friend we went with, and he invited his friend, and he's like, oh yeah, he just popped up, they're leaving for LA this afternoon. And I was like, how did, like, the serendipity, the synchronicity of the universe, I feel that happens when we travel a lot. And maybe that's why it's so much, because the universe is trying to align us with those signs and synchronicities and those epiphanies and those people that just can't happen in your hometown or where you're usually staying. Because it's the same old where you're staying usually.
Exactly, yeah. And call me cheesy for this, but I try to meditate by a lake because I know that it's like,
yes, empath, dude.
Yeah, because I feel like it's good for us, like me and you in particular, being Scorpio rising, because it's like the only form of like fixed water. I would say cardinal is probably the ocean, and because it's always moving. And then, but like lakes are like fixed, and I feel like rivers are like mutable because you got like the rocks and shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like Pisces should probably like, and I don't, anyone watching this, don't take this for a fact, but I think you guys should, meditate by a river or.
I agree 100%. I think, I don't know if I have a video on this, but I definitely wrote about this before. I was like, if you're an empath, you need to go next to water to let it out. And even if, I think I said in a video, even if you can't find a large body of water, at least take a salt bath, because you're picking up everyone's energy all the time with water in your chart. I don't care if it's Scorpio or Cancer or Pisces, or maybe you don't even, it's in like your 10th house, whatever. You're picking it up unconsciously, and that can really drain you if you start feeling negative one day, or just a random anger and you're like, whoa, what's that? And it's not even you. So yeah, finding a large body of water. I noticed that too, even driving by like a fountain or a pond or walk, I'm like, oh, I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah, it's therapeutic, definitely. Definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Meditation really helped Scorpio risings. It helped me learn to respond rather than react, because I did spend a lot of my time like, oh, you gonna say this to me? All right, whoa, coming full in. And now I'm like, okay, now calmly like confront someone now if need be. But because I like meditate more and I do yoga and I take time asking myself, who am I? And maybe someone is, they're just struggling with something and they're healing and it's getting really ugly, and they're going to find anyone around them to hurt them. So let me not be this person and let me take the higher ground. Also, knowing that the universe always has your back and will take care of karma. Woo, that like helped me so much once I stopped, because I know Scorpio risings, we have a tendency of revenge, power, and like the lower energy of wanting that. And once I let that go and was like, all right, stand up for myself, but as well, karma, what goes around comes around, in the universe, especially if you're a person that's healing and adding value to the world, I feel like the universe helps you out more if someone tries to attack you or what have you.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that one thing you had mentioned in your Virgo moon video,
Oh Lord.
to let out all the negative energy in that room. That's something like, you know what I mean? You know the truth by the way it feels. And like I felt that there's so many times where like I should have saged or opened up a window or did something when I was like really like in my emotions, you know what I mean? Because it gets,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that energy gets stagnant, and I didn't realize this at all like until a year ago when I watched Stargirl the Practical Witch on YouTube, and she was talking about energy with your room, how the color of your room impacts it, how things are organized just impacts your entire mood, and why she was feeling more depressed because her walls were like a deep burgundy or a black color, and then how she didn't open the windows or let light in. And she's like, okay, now because she's successful, she's happy, so I'm listening to her. She's like, okay, so I open the windows, make sure to sage, and you let that out, because whatever mood you're feeling, whether it be anger, depression, it's going to get stuck in your house, and you got to really lift the energy up all the time. Dude, I love doing spiritual work. I feel very fulfilled when I do it in comfort. And I know a lot of people don't believe in Reiki healing, but I oh my God, dude, I did this with my friend. All right, this is how intense my manifestation skills are. So I realized, and I know we can all do this. I know that we're all telepathic, and I know we can all send messages because I've done it before. I've like texted something out to my mom in my head, and I was like, all right, I'll send it to her later. My Aquarius ass is like, blah, blah, blah. And then she texted me back a response to my message in my head. That was weird, but I know we can all do that. Anyway, so I learned how to get people to talk to me in my head, respond to me without reaching out to them first. And then I wanted to show my friend who was, a Christian and a non-believer in the manifestation, the law of attraction, spirituality. She's like, no, you can't make things happen. I was like, all right, bet, we're at a bar right now. What do you want to happen? She's like, well, I want someone to text me. I was like, cool. Well, why do you think they can't? Well, he has a girlfriend. I was like, all right, look, we're doing the law of attraction. There are no limits. So what we have to do, let's think about it. What would it feel like if he texted you right now in this moment? She's like, oh, I feel so excited. I feel shocked. I wonder why. I was like, cool. So like, look at your phone, feel it, think about it. All right, cool. Now we're going, I have no attachment to this dude whatsoever. I don't care. I'm going to think about him too, and how happy you're going to feel. What's his name? What he looks like? Cool. But now we're going to let it go. We're going to forget this happened. It doesn't matter who texts you. It really doesn't. We're having fun. We're at a bar. Let's go have fun. And dude, like 2 hours later, this man texted her while his days on, but he like texted her. He's like, hey, I really miss you. And he said exactly what she thought he would. And I've done this before, not even with her, like thinking about their energy in a very benevolent way, not in a manipulative way, but thought about his energy, pictured it in like a green ball, and then her energy in like a pink ball, and then like them interacting, and then in a big ball together, and then I sent it off. And because I feel like I have no attachment to these people, I'm like, oh, cool, whatever. And she texted me that day, what the fuck? Are you a witch? He texted me. He misses me. And I was like, oh, what did I do? I was like, but bro, like, it can happen with your thoughts. You just have to believe it and not force it and put pressure like this has to happen. Just be like, oh, it'd be cool if it happened. But like, I'm chill. A lot of people get stuck in the step where I'm not okay if this doesn't happen, whether it be a person, a friendship, a dream job, dream house, dream car. They keep putting that energy like, I'm not good without my dream car. I'm not good without my soulmate. I'm not good without my, career being a millionaire. But if you're like, hey, I'm cool where I'm at, that would be chill, and then let it go, it just happens.
Yeah, like it's crazy because I used to think that like people who studied astrology back when I was a Christian, this was one of my transformations as well. But I used to think all this stuff was like witchcraft. It was a demon power,
Power,
stuff like that. So I stood away from it. But there was something that drug me to it. You know what I mean? I felt like the universe just gave me this info like when I needed it. Like I feel like there was a reason for me to be a Christian at the time. You know what I mean? Like I did learn things from there when I needed to, like for that specific time in my life, I feel like Christianity did its part. But now astrology, it's like, I don't know. There's no spiritual plateaus now from here. I just need to keep learning more, you know?
Yeah, no, astrology is so empowering. I love it. I feel like it's more personal too. I don't know. Christianity, I kind of like strayed along away from that. My dad was a pastor, and there was a lot of insecurities and like legalism, not even from him, just from like the churches he would pastor is very legalistic. So I was like almost traumatized from it so much that I was like, no. Like, oh.
Yeah, like they have some sort of government over the spiritual world. Like you see, like you have the bishops, the archbishops, the like all that stuff. Like there's government in the afterlife, right?
Yeah, that's just ridiculous to me. I don't know. I feel like when we die, we don't go to heaven. Heaven doesn't exist, but we all go to either a different dimension or we're reincarnated. Because I strongly believe, and I've had evidence from tarot readings that I was a man in my past life. Because, dude, I like that's why I'm like when I see like injustice towards women, I get so like turned. I get so like what? Like when someone like said something to me, I'm like you realize like we are equal. Like not even I don't even know how to explain it. Like it shouldn't be that separate. I don't feel like men and women should be fighting. It's kind of like, okay, women, we have our oppression too, and it's been difficult more historically for women because they just like figured out how to vote a couple hundred years ago. But men also, they have toxic masculinity. They're not allowed to feel their feelings. They're working for someone they don't want to work for, and they're being enslaved in like 9-to-5 jobs they don't want, not catching a break. So I feel like we all have these issues, and instead of like, well, you against me, and like guys bad mouthing girls, girls bad mouthing guys, be like, all right, look, dude, there's great guys and bad guys. There's great women and bad women. There's some people that they're just going through it and they just let them go through it, dude. But if we like work together, there would be no issues whatsoever. But yeah, I definitely felt that. I don't know. I don't remember where I was going with this, but I was like, I was a man in a past life. I was like, yes, it makes perfect sense.
No, yeah, I totally agree. It's always about like making someone else's life easier. You know what I mean? Like no one, I don't know. It's just not my place to judge. You know what I mean? As you know, we hate being judged ourselves. So
Yeah.
I think though that I totally see my north node and how like the south node represents like your past life or whatever, a little bit about that. Like apparently I was a Pisces past life, and now my north node, my mission is to like be organized. And because even for Mars and Virgo, I'm very, very unorganized. Like,
Oh no.
yeah.
So wait, your south node is in Pisces and your north node is in Virgo?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
intriguing. Someone told me before their north node was in Virgo and they're asking me about it because I studied that, but it was my energies, which was south node Taurus, north node Scorpio. So I kind of want to like look into that. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like So you would be leaving behind Pisces.
I guess like Pisces traits or like negative Pisces traits, I
Pisces
guess.
are too nice. I was just saying, Pisces are too nice, dude. All the Pisces I know are like sweethearts, but they don't stand up for themselves. And I'm like, dude, I get it. Like, I'm a water sign too. Like, I got that, but you've got to like not allow. I don't know. I saw something where it was like saying like when you set boundaries, people will test them to see if they're legit or to see with how much they can get away with. So it's not setting boundaries like, okay, cool, someone's gonna listen to this. Like, no, you're tested with them all the time. And then I could see the South Node or the North Node in Virgo being, I suppose, the ultimate healer or nurturer, Virgo organization, analytical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw that Virgo was like a healer. I feel like Virgo is like the healer of the physical body.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I just know like having a my Mars in Virgo in particular, I am like a light switch when it comes to like my sexuality and what turns me on and what turns me off. Like I can easily be turned on and turned off just as quick.
Is it
Like
like a light switch?
it's literally a freaking light switch. I don't mean to be like that, but that's just how it is.
I feel that with Virgos are a lot like anyone with Virgo in their chart. I've found that too because they're really like shy and reserved. I've one of my exes and then someone else was both of them were Virgo suns, and when I first met them, like I turned down the first person I had a relationship that was a Virgo because I was like, because I was just at a stage where I was like, I don't like any guys, like no. And he like, but he was really shy, dude. He's like, no. And then when we started dating, I was like, oh, okay. So I feel like Virgos, they're very like classy, and then it all comes out later. But I have a Virgo moon, so I'm the same way because I feel you can desire somebody and you can feel some type of way, want intimacy, but I feel like if you like say it out, I don't know, if you act really brash with it, that's not cute to me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a turn off. I'm like, all right, like tell somebody you like them or whatever, but to just be like, oh yeah, like I'm trying to get some D or I'm trying to get some P, and like yell it out, and I'm like, oh god, like that's not the way to go, guys.
Mhm.
But yeah, Virgo and Mars, that's intriguing. My Mars is in Leo, so it's very conflicting for me. And then also like the Scorpio rising, because you have Mars and then you have Pluto. So like you want to be mysterious, or you're like forced to be mysterious anyway.